All right, what it is. Y'all already know it is. It's one of your hosts, the big boss hog, boss dog, K. Poe through the door. Here to talk this boxing. We got Coach B here today. Man, y'all know when we on here, man, we finna get to it, man. Ain't gonna be no jumping around. It's straight up and down, no side effects. But today is the day we talking about Keyshawn Davis and Gervonta Tank Davis. We clutched up. We clutched out. You know what we talking about. This matchup. Now we had a man on the Boxer Voice come on and make some statements, and that man is Brian McIntyre, excuse me, who is also Terrence Crawford's trainer, who is also trainer of Keyshawn Davis. So before we get into all that, let Coach have the flow. Coach, let everybody know how you doing real quick before we segue off into our little thing.
What it is, folks. You already know what time it is. You already mentioned it. This is the Clutch Factory. We clutched up. You know exactly what we be talking about. And when we get on here, just know you finna spend the next half an hour to an hour with your two favorite hosts that'll never leave you in the dark about any post. You feel me? But it is what it is. Again, like I said, shout out to everybody all across the world at this point. My boy K-Po out here doing this thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting back in the groove. This man then made it across the world, across the country, across the water, across the pond. That's what I'm talking about. That's progress at its finest. You know what I'm saying? And he done it not just on one channel, but not two channels. You know, shout out to Boss, to Boss Hawk, because it's over there doing this thing as well. So again, shout out to K-Po and shout out and much love to everybody across the world at this point. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let's go ahead and get it. Oh, wait, before I continue, pause. No freaky is in full effect. I'm not finna keep saying pause between everything. But K-Po, excuse me, go ahead, let's get it.
All right, so like I said, we straight into it. I know we normally do, what we're gonna talk about, and there's a pause, but ain't gonna be none of that this episode. This episode, we going straight into it. Like I say, straight up and down, no side effects. So, like I mentioned, Brian McIntyre was interviewed on the Boxing Voice. Shout out to them. Like I said, they grown men, they stand on their 10, and they have different viewpoints than we have. You know what I'm saying? We don't always agree, but that's one thing about men. We ain't gonna always agree on something. But I want y'all to listen to this audio, and then Coach gonna listen to this audio as well, and we gonna respond to it. So y'all listen up.
Keyshawn the one that can crack their Gervonta code?
Gervonta can be beat easily, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, we hear you say he can be beat easily. Why?
Yeah, he can be beat easily because he's just a basic type of dude with a lot of power. If you know boxing like I know boxing, you can take away that power from you. You know what I'm saying, young fella? We know.
So you don't think he's an elite level counter puncher?
Who's that?
Tank. You don't think Tank's an elite level counter puncher?
Everybody think when they fight or if they fight, it's gonna be a hard fight because of the way that Tank fight. I'm not taking away nothing from him, but that's the easy fight for Keyshawn. Just know what Keyshawn can bring what he gonna bring to the table. He can fight going backwards. He can fight going forward, side to side. That's gonna be like a Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Watch. Trust me. Trust me. I promise you. You got the height, you got the reach, you got the speed, and you got the power.
Now, like I said on my channel, I laughed for like 5 minutes straight when I heard that. So let's start off with, we're going to break this down to segments. Coach, initially, what did you think about his comments? And then we're going to break it down into sections. So what did you think about his comments? Let me know something.
First and foremost, this might be a little throwback or over some of y'all's head, but I'm going to start referring to Bo-Mac as Fat Man Scoop, one of the greatest hype mans to ever live. Because ain't no way you just said what you said about Keyshawn Davis versus Tank Davis. You just told the whole world, Fat Man Scoop, no Timberland, that this fight would be similar to Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence. In what way, shape, or form is anybody visualizing this? And this is including the Tank haters. Even people that hate Tank, want to see Tank get beat in that manner, wouldn't even fathom or dream about something Bo-Mac just said. And it's sad that's coming from Bo-Mac, Fat Man Scoop. Like, I get it, bro. You believe in your fighter. You hyping your fighter up. You trying to pump his head up. You trying to pump the world up to get behind somebody other than you know, the originator Davis. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it just makes me. I don't want to question somebody of his caliber as a coach, but at the same time, it's making me think. Like you got to put pride aside at some point and realize that Keyshawn Davis and Tank Davis in the same ring is never going. You're never going to see Tank get beat in that manner. Like, no disrespect to Earl Spence, but at the same time, you just not going to see Tank Davis ever get beat in that manner. And I elaborate on that when we get into the compare and contrast section of the podcast.
I 1,000% agree. Like I said, I laughed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I laughed. Gervonta Tank Davis, not Earl Spence, and respectfully, that Earl Spence is a master of fundamentals and basics. He don't do nothing special, but Tank is a special type of fighter, and if he gotta go in his bag on the dude, it's gonna be worse. But to get back on the train, I can't stop laughing. He mentioned speed, Coach. He said Keyshawn Davis has the speed factor. Do you see Keyshawn Davis having the speed advantage against Gervonta Tank Davis?
I'll be honest. I would say he has the speed factor with his hands, but we all know you build a boxer from where? The ground up. Your hands can be moving as fast as you want, but if you're going to get somebody who can move and think as quick as your hands moving, or before you even make your move, or before you get ready to throw your punch with their feet, what's the matchup? So again, I give the slight hand speed advantage to Keyshawn Davis. Slightly. When I say slightly, I mean by like a billion. It's almost to the last molecule type hand speed advantage. But I'm not gonna give him just like overall hand speed. But like I say, I'd rather have a boxer with elite footwork than just elite hand speed. And Keyshawn Davis' footwork is not elite, but again, that's more like the compare and contrast section. When we get there, I get into detail about it.
One thing he didn't mention is IQ, but like you said, we're gonna mention that in the compare and contrast section. Real quick, and then we're gonna go into the coach's corner. This particular matchup, do you feel like Keyshawn Davis is ready right now for this particular matchup? Now, granted, he has something in the works right now. He finna possibly get Baron Chunk, but I think he's gonna beat Baron Chunk. And if he's victorious, do you feel like that's a fight that he would be ready for right now? Or are you like, hey, it don't matter if he ready. He talking, his coach talking, put him in there, and you gonna see what we talking about. Let me know something.
I will say this. Keyshawn Davis now has a story to write. He's creating his own book. He's creating his lane. And shout out to him for doing so. He's about to get his first, title fight. Congratulations to him. You know what I'm saying? And he's going against an undefeated man in Baron Chunk, as you mentioned. But this is no easy task. It's not an easy task. And I'm going to say this real quick, and no disrespect to any fighter that is born, bred, and gained from the US of A. But fighters from the USA struggle with fighters from across the way. They struggle with fighters from over there. And it's not blind. It's not blind to the public. It's not blind to them. It's not blind to coaches, trainers, or none of that. Now, am I saying Keyshawn Davis wins this fight? I don't know. This is one of those fights I don't want to put a story on it, but at the same time, just know that it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a great fight in my opinion. Baron Chunk, versus Keyshawn Davis is gonna be a great fight. And like I say, I really don't want to put a tab on it because some stuff you just want to see it unfold. Now let's get to the topic at hand. If he wins this fight, I believe, I'm not going to say he's going to be 1,000% ready for Tank, but then He's again creating, he's building his brand, he's promoting himself at this point. I think he should definitely not overlook the opportunity to get in the ring with Tank. And am I saying he'll be ready? 100% ready, 1000% ready? No. But he should be at that point ready to start taking those elite fights.
Okay, I agree. I just think that Keyshawn Davis, man, is a good young fighter, and I would dislike the fact that you put him in there too early and he get ruined. That's my opinion. People know that boxing is more mental than physical. You may have all the physical characteristics. You may be bigger, stronger, faster. But if you mentally ain't right in there, none of that matters. So I want y'all to always remember that. If you mentally ain't right in there, it don't matter. You get in there, you ain't right mentally, you get blitzed, that's it. And you can't recover. Look at David Haney. But anyway, let's go into the coach's corner of this episode. We're doing a compare and contrast of the two fighters. We breaking down this fight in its entirety. This is Coach B segment. We're going to let Coach B cook and eat. So, Coach B, do your compare and contrast. Break this down. Tell me the pros and cons, the flaws, the good things this fighter do, the bad things this fighter do. Let us know something.
All right, let's get to it. I'm comparing and contrasting the whole way through. So if I talk about power, I'm going to talk about power with both fighters so y'all understand where I'm coming from. Since we brought that up first, let's talk about power. I'm going to start with Tank Davis first. I mean, I'm starting with the obvious, of course. Everybody knows Tank has that on-demand type of power. When he's ready to put you out, he's going to put you out, and there's nothing you can do about it. Point blank, period. Nobody's going to argue with that. Not coaches, trainers, fighters, people who don't understand boxing can go watch a few Tank highlights and say, hey, this dude will knock your block off whenever he's ready to. But anyways, of course, the advantage with power goes to Tank. Now, Keyshawn Davis, he has some pop. He can crack a little bit. I ain't gonna take that from him. He got some pop. He can crack for sure. But he's not winning the power battle between Tank. He's just not winning it. And then I'm gonna explain something to y'all. When it comes to power, when you're dealing with a power puncher, K-Po has mentioned this several and many times. When it comes to power has the ability to prevent fighters from doing certain things or even thinking certain things or even acting on certain mannerisms, because power is just something that's just rude and disruptive. You can be doing your thing, you can be floating, winning the whole match, and all of a sudden, pow, lights out. And for my boxing heads, y'all don't need me to explain that. Y'all know what's up when it comes to that power. Y'all know what power does to a fighter, especially if somebody is landing consistent power shots at will. And that's what Tank can do with his power shots. But let's move on to the next attribute. Let's talk about speed, as we did earlier. When it comes to speed, I give the slight advantage to Keyshawn Davis' hand speed. Tank's hand speed is very deceptive. It's very deceptive. You know, he has hand speed, but a lot of people don't see it displayed as much because he's also strategically planning with his hands. I'll get to that in a little bit. But again, Tank has hand speed, but he punches with precision, accuracy, and power. So therefore, he doesn't display his hand speed as much as, I would like him to. But at the same time, again, I give the slight hand speed advantage to Keyshawn Davis. Now, let's get into the footwork scheme of things. Footwork, I give it to Tank all the way. All the way, because we've seen Tank box on the outside against Pitbull Cruz. We've seen Tank go in the blender against someone like Leo Santa Cruz. We've seen Tank get in there with somebody like Frank Martin and utilize the whole ring. We've seen Tank be in the pocket, be slick. Rolly Romero, catch him coming out the ropes, put him down to sleep. You know what I'm saying? That's not hand motors. That's all footwork. That's great footwork. That's elite footwork. That's superb footwork. Because if your feet can't get you there, what your hands gonna do? How your hands gonna be in the right position to land those punches if your feet not doing the job? So 100% footwork, I give it 100% Tank. When it comes to Keyshawn Davis, he doesn't have terrible footwork, but he doesn't have the best of footwork because you can catch him 100% grounded in the cement. He'll be 100% flat-footed, not turning and transferring his weight. He's not doing that. Sometimes he can be quite stiff at the feet and the hips. So I believe in a matchup against Tank, that alone will get you put where you don't want to be at. Final thing I'm gonna segue off into is the mental aspect of it. Let me tell you something. Everything I just mentioned about Tank, all that stuff is mentally put together in the fight plan in his head. He uses the first few rounds to strategize and absorb. All right, cool. After he gets round 1 through 3 out the way, he's now started downloading your database. After he downloads your database, he slowly starts to cut off where you like to move to. Footwork, IQ, all put together. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, after he's downloaded, put together the footwork, start cutting off certain areas and angles and movements you like to do, now he's attacking. Now he's playing with the feints. Now he's playing with the pawing. Now he's playing with the pulls and the counters. Now he's playing. Now he's trying to get your reaction. Okay, now that he's got your reaction to see what you most shaky about, what you most, iffy about, he keeps playing with it. Then all of a sudden he'll try. Okay, I was close. But then he also notices something that you're doing while he's throwing that punch. So he slightly adjusts it and boom, on demand, you sleep. That's boxing IQ at its finest, folks. Understand, y'all keep saying Tank is just a power puncher. That dude is a 100% complete fighter. I don't care at this point. His resume may not be what we want it to be, but Tank is a 100% elite fighter, and he's the best of this era. And it is what it is. I'm not taking that from a guy just because he hasn't had the best resume. Because right now, no, in my opinion, some of the best resumes in boxing are about to start retiring. So at this point, Tank is that guy. He is, in my opinion. But at the same time, Tank all the way when it comes to IQ. With Keyshawn Davis, he has a long way to go when it comes with his IQ, because I've seen him in fights to where I know he can easily outbox the guy, but he wants to get into a brawl. You just threw the whole kitchen sink at this guy, and he ain't went down. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't went down. So now let's show another side of what we can do in the boxing ring. Not just keep going in there slugging. Now you tired. Now he catching you with shots. Now you can box a little bit too. So you should start boxing. But again, that's IQ. He got a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's my compare and contrast section from Coach B. Thank you for coming to the Coach's Corner, K-Po. The floor is yours.
Man, we reached the end. I mean, you said what you need to say. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said before, on demand. That's all I gotta say. It's gonna be one of the situations with Keyshawn gonna be having a little success, and then you don't know if y'all got Microsoft, but y'all know when y'all and then go that's what's gonna happen. He gonna be sleepy. So I mean that's it. I mean, like I said before, I think y'all need to really put respect on this man's name. You know what I mean? Tank, yeah, he knocking everybody out, but at the same time, it's strategy behind that. You know what I mean? I mean, Coach broke it down, so I don't really need to get into it. Y'all continue to follow us. Continue to follow us on this journey. I told y'all this is Genesis. You know what I mean? The channel is growing. I appreciate everybody for coming to the channel, following us on the channel. I appreciate everybody for going to my channel. I told y'all last time. My channel is, for when you outside and you sitting on the green electric box. You know what I mean? Used to go outside back in the day.
Right.
Clutch Factory is where it's at. I need y'all to come over here, blow this channel up. Keep following us, subscribe, share it, do everything. You know what I'm saying? We're going to continue to evolve. We're going to continue to grow. We're almost at the end of 2024. I'm telling you, 2025, me and Coach B on y'all throat. Ain't nobody going to be able to breathe. I promise you. But I'm Boss. That's Coach. We out of here.
Salute.